Your local election headquarters, the presidential race this morning too close to call. With several key states still counting ballots, the race between President Trump and Joe Biden is undecided this morning. Skylar Henry has the latest.
Former Vice President Joe Biden addressed his supporters in Delaware just after midnight this morning.
I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election.
The race between Biden and President Trump is still up in the air, with a number of states yet to be called.
We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote that it's going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient. And it ain't over till every vote is counted.
President Trump and his supporters gathered in the White House overnight.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
President Trump said he is confident he'll come out on top, but he then attacked the process and said he's ready to go to court to challenge the results.
We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, a record number of Americans voted early and by mail. It's taking longer to count those votes in states like Michigan and Pennsylvania.
What's most important is that we have accurate results and that every vote is counted, even if that takes a little longer.
CBS News projects the president held Biden off in Texas, Iowa, and Florida.
We all know he's the best that we've got.
But Biden held on to Minnesota. Georgia has yet to be called, partly because a waterline break at State Farm Arena delayed counting absentee ballots. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Well, some election workers in Georgia stopped counting ballots there overnight with plans to resume early this morning. Meanwhile, Wisconsin officials are working through the night. That race could be called soon. All right, local races this morning look this way, pending absentee ballots, which will not be counted until November 16th. In the 25th Congressional District, Democrat Joe Morelli leads Republican challenger George Mitras and Libertarian Kevin Wilson. In the 23rd Congressional District, the Associated Press has declared Republican Tom Reed the winner there, sending the incumbent back to Washington. Josh Navarro live in Rochester this morning with more on this race. Josh, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mark. After midnight, incumbent Representative Tom Reed announced he has won via social media for the 23rd congressional race. Reed has 63% of the votes, while his opponent, Democrat Tracy Matrano, has 36% of the vote. Libertarian Andrew Kolstey has 1%. This is at 99% of the precincts reporting. Reed declared victory in front of a group of supporters and media members at his campaign headquarters in Corning. He says he will continue combating COVID-19 and reigniting the economy.
The main focus is get COVID-19, get the vaccine delivered, get the vaccine approved, and get us out of COVID-19. And then unleash this economy, bring prosperity back to people, because that is when people do the best. We talked about it on the campaign. It's about people and empowering them to have opportunity. It's not about big government. I believe in people, and when they are given a chance to control their own destiny, that is when they aspire and deliver so much, not only to themselves, but to the region and to the area.
Now, this election earns Reed a 5th term since he was first elected in 2012. For now, we're live in Rochester this morning. I'm Josh Navarro, News 8.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. Let's go to the 27th Congressional District race now. Republican Chris Jacobs holding a sizable lead this morning over Democrat Nate McMurray and Libertarian candidate Dwayne Whitmer. In the 24th Congressional District, Republican incumbent John Katko leads Democrat Dana Balter and Working Families candidate Stephen Williams. Katko has declared victory overnight. Now to New York State Senate races. In the 55th District, Democrat Samara Brooke leads Republican Christopher Missick. That seat is currently held by Rich Funke, who decided not to run for re-election. In the 56th District, Democrat Jeremy Cooney is leading Republican Mike Berry in a seat currently held by the Republicans. Okay, now to our state assembly races. In the 135th District, Republican Mark Johns leads Democrat Jen Lunsford with 55% of the vote. In the State Assembly 138th seat, Democrat Harry Bronson holds a sizable lead over Republican Peter Vasquez with 60% of the vote. Now to the race for Monroe County Clerk. Democrat Jamie Romeo is leading Republican Carla Boyce there. Again, all of these results are pending the count of absentee ballots. For updated election results both locally and nationally, go to rochesterfirst.com. Christian Garzone went to the Republican headquarters for reaction on our local races.
Well, morning. George Mitras, who's running against Congressman Joe Morelli, says he's not declaring anything at all. He said that last night. 85,000 mail-in ballots still need to be counted. He's not going to decide anything until all of those are added up. Now, this kind of plays into what GOP Chair Bill Napier told us last night. Everything they expected to happen has happened. He says a number of key races have tightened right up, namely between Jeremy Cooney and Mike Berry in the 56th Senate District, and things are looking good for the Mark Johns Assembly race and Senator Pam Helming's State Senate race for the 54th District. Again, looking good there. But Napier says the absentee ballot vote is going to be a major factor here. They can't count them for about 2 more weeks, and they have a whole lot of those to go through.
Well, I hope nobody would jump to any premature conclusions on any of these races tonight. There's still a lot of absentees. There's 100,000 countywide. It's possible in some smaller jurisdictions that you could draw some conclusion, but you know, people sometimes surprise you, and you see the unexpected when you open up an absentee ballot.
The wonderful thing about living in this country is that every person's vote ought to count. So I would like to declare something one way or another, but we've got, as I said, 85,000 votes to count yet.
Now that absentee ballot counting starts on November 16th. On State Street in Rochester, Christian Garzone, News 8.